Ladies and gentlemen, we are now boarding Group A. Please have your boarding passes ready to scan. If your phone is cracked, old, or was chewed up by your Chihuahua travel companion, please refrain from holding up the line. Instead, go to Verizon and trade in any phone in any condition from one of their top brands for the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus with Galaxy AI, and a watch and tab on any plan. Only on Verizon.
With new line on my plan. Service plan required for watch and tab. Additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Streamed and Screened, an entertainment podcast about movies and TV from Lee Enterprises. I'm Terry Lipshetz, managing editor of the National Newsroom at Lee, with Bruce Miller, editor of the Sioux City Journal, longtime entertainment reporter, and, of course, a voter of the Critics' Choice Awards. So you don't get to vote for Oscars, but
no.
you voted for Critics' Choice, and, you have a say in some of these awards. So we're talking Oscars. This is the Oscar episode, so we're going to break it down. So you've seen everything. I've seen nothing, but what I have seen is a list from the Hollywood Reporter. Mm-hmm. They came up with some sort of score, and the score is going to say like which is going to win. I was thinking maybe you can give your thoughts and we can see what this is.
They probably factor in what early awards they've won, and that can be a kind of a bellwether for what they might win. Screen Actors Guild are 1 week before the Oscars, and they do have an impact because if you voted for a Screen Actors Guild award, more than likely those people will have a good shot at winning the Oscars because they have that union as the largest representation in the Oscars. Oddly, I've been watching on YouTube, you can find the old openings of 1957 Oscars and 1962. And you see the people. Raquel Welch was at everything. She seemed to always go. And here's the beautiful Raquel Welch. They talk about how many members of the Academy. And in some of those years, it was 1,000. Now it's like upwards of 8,000. So it's a different crowd. It's not as select as maybe it was before because they're also letting in publicists and different categories of people that are like executives. So they're not necessarily people who are in the trenches and doing all that. So it is a different crowd. And I do think that's how we get the surprises. This year, there are going to be surprises. Whatever I say now or whatever I predict, it could easily be upset in just 2 seconds.
This will be interesting. We're not going to do everything. We're not going to do, like best sound effects or
I know that one. That's nailed.
Oh, is it Dune? Is that what, or is it going to be Wicked, do you think?
No, I don't think Wicked has a shot there. Next year, they'll give it everything.
They'll get it all. So we're going to go through the big ones, like, the acting awards, director, best picture, that kind of thing.
Okay. Terry, when you go and bet on these, because I'm sure you do, you'll go to your bookie and say, okay, I want to place a bet on the Oscars this year.
Yep.
The only sure bet that you can count on is Kieran Culkin is going to win Best Supporting Actor. That's the only one because he's won everything up to now. I don't know who is really kind of on his coattails. Jeremy Strong, his co-star from Succession, could be there if they wanted to send a message to Donald Trump. Kieran Culkin is so good in this. It fits. It works. A Real Pain succeeds because he's in it. Yeah. So I think he will get Best Supporting Actor.
All right. Well, the Hollywood Reporter agrees with you.
All right.
Yeah. The Hollywood Reporter, they, in Best Supporting Actor, ranked the contenders 1 through 5. Kieran Culkin, number 1. Yura Borisov from Anora, number 2. Edward Norton from A Complete Unknown, 3. Guy Pearce, 4. Jeremy Strong way down there at number 5. The highest audience score actually went to Edward Norton, who is somebody I really liked from A Complete Unknown.
And that needs some traction. Somehow, for him to win, the picture has to do well. The director perhaps could win. Timothée Chalamet could be, if there's a kind of a sweep, he would be caught up in that. But I don't see that happening. I really don't. Our first done deal, our only one.
Yeah. So Best Supporting Actress then, definitely not a shoo-in then. Who are you going with and why?
Zoe Saldana because she made Emilia Perez. She really is the star of it, but you can't have somebody who isn't named Emilia Perez be the Best Actress nominee. She plays the lawyer for Emilia Perez. She sings in Spanish. She speaks in Spanish. She does a lot of things in this, and finally, she's one of those ones who have been in the trenches doing a lot of crappy shows. I mean, come on. She's done it. And they owe her something like this. I think she's going to win. Close to her, in case they want to start doing this, Ariana Grande for Wicked. Okay. Because she really was the best thing in that movie. And maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll give her that shot. But I think at this point, they've got to give Emilia Perez something because Netflix is too much of a player for them to just ignore it. So I think that will do well. I think Zoe Saldana is in first place, but Ariana Grande is right there in second.
Hollywood Reporter agrees with you.
Okay.
They are giving it to Zoe Saldana. Now, they ranked them. Number 2, they ranked Isabella Rossellini from Conclave, Ariana Grande then for Wicked, Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, and then Felicity Jones 5th for The Brutalist. Now, when you look at, I guess, like the positivity from critics and audience, Zoe had 72% from critics, Felicity Jones 94% from critics, Isabella Rossellini 93%. So even though she's favored to win, she wasn't loved necessarily. But what I found interesting is the audience, based on this, did not resonate with Zoe Saldana, and maybe it was just the picture.
They liked Ariana Grande, I betcha.
That and Monica Barbaro, they were like neck and neck in selections.
And you know what's interesting is Felicity Jones doesn't show up in The Brutalist until after the intermission. If you only made it through half the film, you never saw her performance. So that's where she loses ground in all of this. But I still think, come on.
Yeah.
They're going to be kind. It's Zoe Saldana.
I think what the audience score tells me here is that audiences did not watch Emilia Perez. And guess who else didn't watch Emilia Perez? Me. I didn't see it.
It's a reading show. And I think that turns people off right away when you say, oh, subtitles? No. I'm not going to stare at the screen the whole time. I want to be able to look at my phone at some point.
Right.
And so, if you miss something, you miss something. But it's a great movie. I enjoyed it. And it's a musical.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'll
That's
check
something
it out.
That's lost in the whole process of this, is that you think, oh, it's a drama about a transgender woman who's, no, I don't want to watch that. And it's a musical. So, and it could win Best Song too.
Best Actor now. Where are you going with this one?
Here, early run is that Adrian Brody has picked up a lot. He's won a lot of awards. He won the British Academy Award, and he's good. If you just parse this down, he was the hardest working actor in any of those films that are nominated for Best Actor. But he already won an Oscar for playing a character very similar to this. It's in the 3.5-hour film that maybe I didn't watch, and he's already got one. So that is all working against him. But who is his biggest challenger? Timothée Chalamet. Timothée Chalamet, for playing Bob Dylan, is a good alternative if you're going to give it to somebody else. But here's the deal, is we've given too many Oscar nominations and awards to people playing singers. And do you want another one of those? This guy, Adrian, created a fresh thing. So it's a different kind of an animal there. And then you have Coleman Domingo and Sing Sing that nobody saw. Right. I'm sorry, but nobody saw it. And then you've got Sebastian Stan playing Donald Trump. That brings in a whole political level. And then who's my last one? Ralph Fiennes. Only if Conclave does a march to the front and they win everything. They owe him one. He deserves to win at some point. But I don't think there was enough drama in this to give him an arc. So it's between Timothée Chalamet and Adrian Brody.
So the Hollywood Reporter agrees with you. So they have Adrian Brody winning with Timothée Chalamet second. And then they ranked the bottom three is Ralph Fiennes, Coleman Domingo, and then Sebastian Stan, bringing up the rear.
They have nothing against Timothée Chalamet. They always think, oh, someday, it's the Leo DiCaprio story.
Yeah.
Someday we'll get him. So I think he's in hold. But You never know. He could win the Oscar. But I think it's Adrian Brody's to lose. Doing a foreign language, and that's one thing they tried to get him on, is that AI helped him out and they spruced up some, but that's not enough to dump somebody.
So moving on, Best Actress.
The smart money says, oh, Demi Moore has it. She's going to win. She's going to win. And that isn't always true. You can ask Glenn Close. She was always the front runner every time she seemed to be nominated and never has taken the thing home. And then there's somebody from the trenches that you go, wait, who is that? I've never even heard of her. And she won. And she beat somebody like Glenn Close. And so Demi Moore is a Golden Globe winner. Golden Globe winners are different than Oscars. They're not necessarily repeated. And I think that her movie was too much of a horror film to really qualify to win. So I think she is not necessarily the one to beat. Okay, so then you look at the ones that are left. You've got Cynthia Erivo, good. Wicked's up next year, another chance, another shot. Let's put her on the hold list. You've got Fernanda Torres, whose mother was in a film by the same director like 30 years earlier. She was nominated for Best Actress as the first Brazilian actress to be nominated. Now her daughter is nominated. The part was good. Foreign language film. Could be a strike against it, because do they want to reward foreign language films all the time? Yes, they have. Marion Cotillard won. Did we think that was going to happen? Probably was a year that Glenn Close was up, and then we have in the list Mikey Madison from Anora. Mm-hmm. And Anora could be really experiencing a run here.
And Carla Sofia Gasson.
Yeah, she's out of it. Totally out of it. The Amelia Perez one, because she had some mean tweets that they wouldn't even promote her. Right. That's how kind of against her that is. And she could be surprised. They could say, well, no, we're better than that, and we'll give it to her. But I don't know that even if she were in it for just the acting, I don't know that her acting was better than any of the ones that are up there. So it comes down to two, I think. Demi Moore is still in the conversation. But I think Mikey Madison could be that surprise that you go, oh, we never even thought about this. She's the Hilary Swank of this year, where you go, Hilary Swank? What? She has 2 Oscars? How does that happen? And Annette Bening will tell you how it happens, because Annette Bening was supposed to win those years and didn't. So I think Mikey Madison could be your best actress. Go for it. But Meryl Streep has an Oscar that she wasn't given all those precursor awards. If they do it to Meryl, they can do it to somebody else too.
So best actress.
So I'm going to say Mikey Madison.
Mikey Madison. Okay.
With Demi hot on her tail.
Okay. Hollywood Reporter gives it to Mikey Madison. So
do they really?
They have
right.
They have her ranked number 1, Demi Moore 2, Fernanda Torres 3, Cynthia Erivo 4, and Carla Sofia Gasson 5.
Bless their hearts. Yeah. And if you want to see, if you go to SiouxCityJournal.com, you can find a Mikey Madison interview that I did with her early on when the show was first coming out. Yeah. That brings us to the biggies.
Yep. Best director.
Director and movie are kind of linked. Now, they could easily give The Brutalist best director because, come on, the guy did a 3.5-hour film for $10 million and it looks like $1 million. That's good directing. But have we heard of Brody before? Not really. And so I think that Anora, it has the shot at winning Best Director. It already won the Directors Guild and it won the Producers Guild. And Sean Baker is somebody that they like. And I think he's like Martin Scorsese, where you say, we never gave him an award early on and we should have. And I think this is a way to say, you know what? He does these little indie films that are good. This is a fantastic film. He's also nominated in other categories for writing and editing and picture for this. So he has an opportunity to take home 4 if he really wants to. But I think he'll get Best Director. I think it's Sean Baker.
And so who would you go to?
That's Brody is going to Corbet.
Okay.
He'll get the second slot, and he could easily flip. And they can easily say, we'll give you one of the other with both of those. What does the Reporter say? Do they have that?
Do you work for the Hollywood Reporter? Because this is what it feels like.
No, I'm dying to hear what this is.
Best director, the number one ranking goes to Sean Baker.
Good.
So
Good.
they have him at number 1, Brody Corbet 2, James Mangold 3, Jacques
the French one,
Amelia Perez at 4. Well, the director of The Substance, a name that I cannot pronounce, we are gonna go. So that's where they have it ranked, which leaves us with the big one. Best Picture. We've got 10 nominees.
Your old or broken phone can let you down. But at Verizon, trade in any old phone from our top brands and get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence with a new line on My Plan and iPad and Apple Watch Series 10. After all, you don't want your old phone to die on you when you're lost.
Perfect.
Or for your broken phone to glitch at the worst possible time.
Hey, can I get your number? Oh.
Trade in your old phone for a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, iPad, and Apple Watch. Visit Verizon.com today. Additional terms apply. Service plan required for Apple Watch and iPad.
So, this is where we could possibly see Dune Part 2 in Best Picture, but it probably won't.
It could.
Yeah.
It could. So could Wicked.
Uh-huh.
Because Wicked provided a lot of employment for everybody. And this is the category that everybody gets to vote on.
Yep.
So everybody has kind of some prejudice going into that. Okay. Wicked was hugely popular. And people loved it. It brought people back in the theaters. It had a lot of craftspeople working on this. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't, somebody had to plant all those tulips that they have in the thing. Somebody had, so there's a lot there that could win. And I would not be shocked if Wicked won Best Picture.
Okay.
I don't think it will. I think, again, it's one of those ones we'll wait till next year. And then we'll see if we need to give it to it.
Can't give you can't give a part 1 of 2 the Best Picture.
No, I don't think, because then you have to give part 2.
What if part 2 is terrible?
Right,
yeah,
you can't.
You can't do it.
And Dune is a good example of that. They didn't give Dune 1, which was great, the award, and now we're on to Dune 2, and I think it's going to be shut out. It's not going to it'll get some technical thing, but it's not going to get Best Picture. So then we're getting down to Amelia Perez, which had the most nominations, Conclave, Brutalist, and Anora. Those are the 4 that I think are in the hunt for Best Picture. I do think that Amelia Perez is out. And for some reason, Netflix Pictures have a tough time of bringing it home in the end.
Yeah.
I think it'll get Best Foreign Language or International Film, whatever they call the category. So that's a way of giving it something. But then we're down to the 3. Conclave needs to have some kind of a rush. Yeah. And I don't know that it's there. I think it'll get Best Screenplay. But I don't think it's going to get... if they decide they want to give Isabella Rossellini something, they could. And that would be a nice little token to multiple generations. Her mother, Ingrid Bergman, won in this category. It could happen. We're down to then, I think, The Brutalist and Anora. The Brutalist, if they want to do a big sweeping Oscar picture, that could win because that had big scope. It was the most lavish film on a budget that we've seen in years. And it looks like a Best Picture winner. When you go through those lists and you go, what is this one here? But you've got a Lawrence of Arabia, you've got any of those huge kind of David Lean, Gandhi. Nobody watches Gandhi ever.
Right.
Last Emperor. It has that kind of heft. So I think that could help The Brutalist. But Anora's on a run right now. And we've seen that with Coda. Coda was not one that you would have thought. Argo, another one. Moonlight. Lately, we've been getting those smaller pictures winning the Best Picture award. And I think that's where we're going to see something like Anora take it.
Okay, so you're going...
I'm going Anora, but I have so close The Brutalist right behind it.
All right, so the Hollywood Reporter, I'm going to go backwards. So we're going to do top 10 in reverse.
Okay.
So the number 10 film that they have is Nickel Boys.
Yeah.
Number 9, The Substance.
Maybe those could have flipped.
Number 8, Dune Part 2.
Okay. Do you see what I mean? Too early. Yeah.
Number 7, I'm Still Here. Number 6, Amelia Perez. So they're not hot on Amelia Perez. Number 5, Wicked.
Yeah. Waiting.
So now this is where it gets a little interesting, and based on what you've talked about. Number 4, they have The Brutalist.
Okay.
So they have other pictures ranked higher. Number 3 goes to Conclave. So that means they're banking on either a complete unknown or Anora.
Wow. And I think Complete Unknown needs to have some other wins to really take home Best Picture. If Timothée Chalamet gets Best Actor and then they get Best Picture, it figures. But I don't know what other kind of lesser awards it could pick up.
Their Best Picture, ultimately, they have ranked number 1, Anora.
Hey,
just like you.
There they were.
Your opinion, Hollywood Reporter. I don't know how they came up with the rankings, because I didn't read that part first before we came into here. Sounds like you're kind of on the same page here. So we'll see how that goes. Do you want to hear just a few of their predictions on some of the lesser categories and just kind of get
Throw me a category and I'll tell you what'll win.
Best Adapted Screenplay.
Is Conclave in this one?
Yes.
Conclave is going to get it.
That's who they have, Conclave. Best Original Screenplay.
Real Pain should win it.
They have Anora. They have Real Pain number 2.
Come on, it's an actor who is directing and writing his own show. That's Oscar bait right there.
Exactly.
But Anora needs to have more than 1 or 2 awards. A Best Picture needs to have like 4, I think.
Best International Feature.
Amelia Perez could lose this to I'm Still Here.
That's actually their ranking is Amelia Perez 1, I'm Still Here number 2.
And that could be how kind of mad they are at that whole Netflix system.
Did you see a lot of the best documentaries? Did you see them all or most of them?
Many of them, yes.
Okay. Do you have any sense of which one might win that?
No, not at all, because those, it could be entirely off. There'd be one, like Superman was the thing that people were talking about all year long, the biography of Christopher Reeve. Didn't get nominated.
No. They have Porcelain War winning it.
Okay.
This is always an interesting category for me, so I'll see what you think about this. Best Animated Feature.
Wild Robot. Easily.
Yeah, that's what they have.
That's a Netflix thing where they have won in that category quite a bit. Flow is something that could be easily second place.
That's who they have 2. They have Wild Robot 1, Flow 2, Wallace and Gromit 3, Inside Out 2, 4, and Memoir of a Snail 5. Best
song. Look at song.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to here, and we'll wrap things up. So best original. Let's do best original score. Any thought on the original score? You've got Conclave, Brutalist, Amelia Perez, Wild Robot, and Wicked in that. Where do you fall?
Well, Challenger was supposed to be the big winner, and then it didn't get nominated.
Yeah.
Wicked, I would hesitate to give that because it's based on another thing, and all they did was just add a few more strings. Conclave, I think, is the interesting one there. I think that's the one that could win.
They had Brutalist 1 and Conclave 2. Best original song. So to kind of whip through these quickly, you had El Mal from Amelia Perez, Never Too Late. That was the Elton John song to his movie. Mi Camino from Amelia Perez. Like a Bird from Sing Sing, and The Journey from the 6888.
Yeah, and that's Diane Warren. Diane Warren has never won, and here's her opportunity to finally win one. I think the 2, El Mal is the one that is probably going to win of the 2, but 2 songs from one film, they tend to cancel each other out. The one from the animated film, nah. The Journey could do it. Finally, you'd get to see Diane Warren clutch one and say, you know what, I finally won this thing. And the song is good.
Yeah.
The song is good.
Yeah, I'll say with this Best Original Song one, they have El Mal winning it. They have Journey number 5.
Yeah.
This feels like a toss-up category and just whoever voted.
Yeah, who do you know or who do you want to win? I think that Amelia Perez will win something in the music. If it doesn't win the score thing, it'll win one of those song things because it's the same people doing it. And I think they'll give them something. And it's an original musical.
As a baseball fan, sometimes you'll have 2 baseball players on the same team have really good seasons and they cancel each other out.
Right.
Because you don't know who to vote for. And then the third guy kind of like hops in there. This is one now they have ranked number 2, is that Never Too Late song, which is written by Elton John and Brandi Carlile.
Yeah.
I could see that one winning just because it's Elton John and Brandi Carlile.
He's had eye problems.
People feel like it's you know who you're voting for.
Our last chance.
So that's who they have.
But he's already got a couple.
Yeah, he does.
He has two of them.
But Dune Part 2, they've got winning Best Production Design and Best Sound.
No, that's production design. It has to be Wicked. Has to be Wicked.
They have Wicked too. Sound, they have Dune topping Wicked. Visual effects, they have Dune topping Wicked.
I think that one it can win. But costumes too. I think Dune will not be Wicked.
Yeah.
It'll be Wicked.
Yeah.
So it's but who knows? With this, anything could happen. And then you go, of course, that's why they won. There's some reason.
We whipped through all the key categories. It looks like you and the Hollywood Reporter.
We're there.
You're there. So
hired. Call them.
Yeah.
Tell them I will come.
I see no point of even watching the Oscars now.
We're there.
So there you go. Oscars are done. Just kidding. They'll be on soon enough, but we'll see how things go.
We'll try and explain why that happened when we didn't get it right. Right?
That's right.
Fill that popcorn bucket and we'll figure it out.
Thank you again for listening, and we will be back again next week with another episode of Streamed and Screen.
What is Dax, are you?
Tracking all our cars on Carvana Value Tracker on all our devices? Yes, Kristen, yes I am.
Well, I've been looking for my phone for...
In Dax's domain, we see all. So we always know what our cars are worth.
All of them?
All of them. Value surge, trucks up 3.9%.
That's a great offer.
I know. Sell?
Sell.
Track your car's value with Carvana Value Tracker today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now boarding Group A. Please have your boarding passes ready to scan. If your phone is cracked, old, or was chewed up by your Chihuahua travel companion, please refrain from holding up the line. Instead, go to Verizon and trade in any phone in any condition from one of their top brands for the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus with Galaxy AI and a watch and tab on any plan. Only on Verizon.
With new line on my plan. Service plan required for watch and tab. Additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.